This is Economy Watch, what you need to know about New Zealand's economic life today. Brought to you by interest.co.nz.
Kia ora, and welcome to Wednesday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz, and today we lead with news business owners are having difficulty matching their sentiment with the conditions around them. And financial markets are in a bit of a pre-dawn shadow as they await the US CPI data tomorrow. Headline CPI is expected to pick up there. Core inflation tick lower. Both levels will be well above the US Fed's target though. American retail sales, as measured by the weekly Redbook Index for bricks and mortar stores, rose 5.4% last week from the same week a year ago, far better than inflation. But despite that, SMEs reported slipping sentiment, and interestingly, labour shortages are still a key concern. So despite record job creation and high migration, small business owners still can't get enough people for the roles they need to fill. 25% of owners reported few qualified applicants for their open positions, and 26% reported none. Investors, on the other hand, stayed much more optimistic and above average levels over the past 2 years. There was a $59 billion US Treasury 3-year bond auction earlier today, and that brought slightly higher yields. Today's median yield was 4.49%, and that was up from 4.21% a month ago at the last equivalent event. Investor support for this fundraising remains very strong, with offers 2.5 times availability. Today, almost $87 billion in bids were unsatisfied. And Japan is said to be pondering where to for their inflation. Wage gains have been strong this year. Since their central bank raised rates for the first time in 17 years last month and ended its massive monetary easing program, market players have been focusing on hints for the timing of the next rate hikes. They may get 2.4% inflation this year, 2% next year. These are much higher levels than they've had for the long period since the GFC. And one country making progress on inflation reduction and not battling in deflation is Taiwan. Their CPI inflation slowed to 2.1% in March from 3.1% in the previous month, and coming in less than market forecasts of 2.5%. And it's election day in South Korea, and the main issues are domestic ones. It's hard to predict the outcome because the electorate is split 30-40-30%, conservative, moderate, liberal. And few know how the moderate voters will swing this time. Anything's possible. In Australia, business confidence was little changed in March, according to the widely respected NAB survey. Both business conditions and confidence were little changed in the month, continuing the trend of above-average activity indicators alongside below-average confidence that has defined this survey for much of the past year. And the Westpac Melbourne Institute Consumer Sentiment Index in Australia fell 2.4% to 82.4 points in April, sliding for the second consecutive month as persistent inflation and high interest rates continue to weigh on Australian households. The index has also held below 100 for over 2 years, the longest streak since the early 1990s recession. And the overnight GDT Pulse dairy auction results for both whole milk powder and skim milk powder basically confirmed the uptick in prices that we first saw in the full GDT event a week ago. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.37% and down 5 basis points from yesterday. And the price of gold will start today a little higher by $13 at $2,348 an ounce, yet another all-time high. But oil prices have slipped another dollar to just on $84.50 a barrel in the US, while international Brent price is now just on $89 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today at just over 60.5 US cents, up 20 basis points from yesterday. Against the Aussie, we're a bit firmer at 91.4 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're firmer too at 55.8 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 69.5 and up 20 basis points. And the Bitcoin price starts today softer at $68,790 and down 4.1% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been moderate, however, at just on plus or minus 2.8%. You can find links to the articles mentioned today in our show notes, and you can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Join us at 2 o'clock today when we will have a full coverage of the RBNZ's monetary policy review. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston. and we'll do this again tomorrow.